Remember back when the internet was a simpler place? Back in the day, Facebook didn't ask you what was on your mind. It made you share how you were doing. In fact, it did so much of the heavy lifting for you, your posts had to start with your name and the word is. That didn't necessarily stop people from breaking the rules. I remember I once had the status, Philippe Lazaro is the moon, in all caps if I remember correctly. And I can still tell you why I said that. That was the night the moon was exceptionally bright over Santa Barbara. And so, as a college freshman, I went out to the beach at 10 o'clock at night with people I had barely known for a week to go moonbathing. And that night brought a sense that things were going to turn out good in my new life in Santa Barbara, which I had just moved to. I think a lot can be said about how we started asking people what's on your mind rather than how are you, but I'll save that for another time. For now, let me pay tribute to the days of social media past with this update. Things have been hard. Oh boy, it's been a pretty tough week. Been a tough month, really, but I think this week has been the worst of it. So, the long story short version is everyone is sick at home, which is, par for the course when you're in a family with young kids right around the fall. There's usually a season where everything is spreading around the schools, but when you're in a family with an immunocompromised member, it gets even rougher. You get added anxiety to go with the juggle of managing changed plans and trying to take care of everyone on top of taking care of yourself. That's what it is, putting them in. It's been a really long road, and this started back in, I want to say late September actually, because Reese was sick for about a month, and you got pretty much everyone in our radius sick too. That's a really long tail virus, whatever he had, and so I had it for a long time, and I'm not surprised that it got Deanna pretty bad. So we've been juggling all these doctor's visits and just trying to get everyone more rest. In order to do that, I've tried to just pick up every piece I can possibly pick up of our childcare routine, drop-offs, pickups, bath times, nighttime routines, morning routines. And even with me trying to do as much as I can possibly do, I can't do it all. It's still been a lot for Deanna to manage on top of trying to get better. And just when we were wondering if we had turned a corner, last weekend a new virus arrived at home, which kind of feels like it reset the clock. I was planning to take last Monday off just because, I needed a day to just sit in bed and do nothing instead of going to work. And that's not going to happen when the kids are home. So that was the plan. And then it turned out it's Veterans Day. And so I planned maybe I'll do that Tuesday. And then I just got for real sick. So it wasn't so much like recoup time as it was just like your body is telling you to stop time. And that's where we are. I think my voice is coming back, which is good because I got a tall weekend ahead. But man, Veterans Day was caught me off guard. Next week we have all early release days at the elementary school because it's parent-teacher conferences, and then the week after school's out for Thanksgiving. So I feel like we aren't even doing school for half of November whilst we're sick and still trying to do the rest of life. It's not just me. I think a whole lot of people are going through their struggle season right now in some way or another. I mean, we had the election just happen. That was a cool ordeal. And if I'm being honest with you, I haven't had the space to process that at all. I haven't even begun to process the end of baseball season really, let alone something higher stakes like that. But that said, I do think there are a lot of parallels between things that have been challenging in my life and the things that I think we're confronting at a more global level, right? There's this huge sense of uncertainty, kind of an exhaustion, I want this to end, where do we go from here type mentality, and then the sense that, just kind of the things that are in front of us already, the basic survival tasks, the things that life already demands, are a lot, And to have things added on top of that just seems especially heinous. In these sorts of times, you really wish to have a plan. You want to know how to navigate the road ahead in anticipation of how hard things could get. But sometimes you're left waiting for answers, clarity, relief, and sometimes those things don't come right away. Honestly, it's a bit like running a marathon. It's a test of endurance and stamina. You try and find that headspace that enables you to keep going. You switch on the playlist that gives you some bonus strength, and you try to remind yourself to enjoy the process. Though sometimes that doesn't work and you still hit that wall. Lately, it's been hard to take care of Deanna, to take care of myself, and I don't know, somehow squeeze in my day job, all while having the demands of keeping 3 tiny humans on the right track. It's a lot going on all at once, but you know what's worse than having too much to do when things are hard? Not having anything to do. I think back to 2015 when I was really feeling the weight of things like the Syrian refugee crisis, the attacks in France, mass shootings in South Carolina, and the clouds of political chaos just starting to form. I was a grad student at the time, and I'm getting a master's degree in international studies. And to me, it felt wrong to be stuck engaging the world's problems as an intellectual exercise. I wanted to get my hands dirty, to feel like I was at least doing something to help the world reverse course. So, to connect all these dots, I'm just going to focus on something Mother Teresa once said, which is, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. I think when she originally said that, it was because a lot of people were expressing interest in trying to volunteer with her in Kolkata, and they were doing so as a way of escapism, like escaping their regular lives that they found suffocating or unfulfilling, and Mama T was like, that ain't it. You know, right now, as a lot of heavy stuff is going on in the world more globally, I haven't been able to process any of that. You know, I've been busy giving baths and packing lunch boxes and rearranging my schedule for the 100th time. But you know what? I am a bit encouraged to actually believe that really simple, granular stuff like that is how the world changes. Like I really think that, you know, I know it's easy to think like there's that Desmond Tutu quote, like, do your simple acts of good because those are the ones that overwhelm the world. And I think Desmond Tutu is a guy who knows what he's talking about. You know, what makes people act the way they do, vote the way they do, believe the things they do? It very rarely has anything to do with a well-constructed argument or winning them over in a debate. It has to do with where people find belonging, purpose, or significance. That's why I think the most important thing for me right now is loving my family. The most important thing for any of us right now is doing those small things that are right in front of us. Because it's usually those small things that signal to the people around us, to the people that they help, that they matter, that they're worth doing those things for. And even though the next stretch of the road ahead is extremely unclear and most likely challenging, and we're still not out of the woods, this is the way you make it through.